This is Adam Smith and Free Markets, Father of Economics, Small Business Basics by Microgiants. I'm Ron Burgess. Adam Smith is widely considered one of the most important figures in the development of modern economics. His famous work, The Wealth of Nations, published in 1776, laid the foundations for modern economic theory and had a profound effect on American business and influenced our founding fathers prior to the Constitution in 1789. Smith lived in Scotland and was educated at the University of Glasgow. He became a professor of logic and moral philosophy there. It's believed by some that Benjamin Franklin met with Smith's Enlightenment group when he was in Edinburgh in 1767, along with David Hume and James Watt, who was the primary improver of the steam engine. Smith carefully watched merchants and customers in his local markets. It was self-evident that both parties benefited from trade. The customer got essentials for the family, and the merchant farmer or craftsman turned his labor into cash so he could buy what his family needed. This interaction automatically allowed for price fluctuations when food was out of season, so that it increased only for those who really needed to buy it. As the prices reduced during a good harvest, she would buy more of it and less of something else. Now, this kept the supply and demand in check, providing the best selection at the right prices for all people. One of Smith's key contributions was his argument for the benefits of free markets and specialization. He argued that individuals pursuing their self-interest in a competitive marketplace would lead to a more efficient allocation of resources and higher overall economic growth. This idea, known as the invisible hand, has been central to the development of capitalist economic systems. Not only did he discover this natural human behavior, he was right. Self-interest has been misunderstood. Some say it's selfish and therefore bad. Not so. When we make decisions for our families and communities, we tend to make better ones when we spend our own money. This increases the standard of living for us, and it creates jobs for others, increasing their standard of living as well. Smith showed how it benefited the whole community. Smith also emphasized the importance of division of labor, arguing that breaking down tasks into smaller parts and assigning them to different workers could greatly increase productivity. He demonstrated how the same group of pen makers could multiply production quantity by several times simply by specializing in each step. This insight has been applied not only in manufacturing, but also in service industries such as call centers and software development. It rewards good workers who have merit with higher pay and job promotions. Meritocracy is the heart of competition and fuels innovation. It also lowers price and increases the quantity for all of us. In addition, Smith was one of the first economists to analyze the role of government in the economy. He argued that government should have a limited role in the economy and should primarily focus on ensuring a stable and predictable environment for businesses to operate in. Today, his foresight is particularly apparent as we see how government regulation increases costs and selling prices, lowering the buying power of customers and the standard of living. It also interrupts a good decision-making of individual businesses. Regulation is important to maintain a fair playing field, but we're far afield from that particular level today. Overall, Adam Smith contributions to economics have had a lasting impact on the field and continue to influence economic policy and theory to this day. Free markets replaced mercantilism, which was held back economic growth in the 16th century. Under free market, England's economy exploded, overtaking both Spain and France economically. So, how was the relevance to small business? Well, first, free enterprise in its pure form is hands-off for government. Taxes have always resulted in some form or another, but not anything like we're used to now. When people are free to take a job and employers are free to employ the best people, efficiency follows. Of course, in most Western countries, we also want to keep employer abuse in check. So some rules will be required. Today, however, the employee has all the leverage. Natural supply and demand increases wages for good people without any government interference. This was proven under the last Republican administration. Second, in the mercantile period, guilds, or similar to unions, had exclusive rights to make industry rules and allow workers to join. These were sanctioned by an independent Lord Mayor in London, and then the king in the rest of the country. It's sort of a little bit like what people think crony capitalism is today, with large businesses working with governments. These guilds had a close relationship with the government also, and like today, worked together to solve these problems in their lives, not necessarily for small business people. But they kept small business competition out. Through complicated licensing, training, and behavioral guidelines, innovation was squashed by the lords. This mercantile system was the ignorance that only so much exists, therefore the pie had to be controlled. So the economy grew slowly and archaically. The economy was flat for hundreds of years, leaving the vast majority of people literally in abject poverty, even in England. By 1790, it had started growing, and by 1850, it had soared, growing even faster than it grows today. Thank you for watching. We hope you'll subscribe below. Microgiants is a nonprofit small business mentoring and advocacy organization. Please come back again.